Uh, Welcome everybody. Am I audible to all of you? A quick audio check. Yes, no, maybe. Am I audible? Okay, cool, great. So, how are you guys? What's up? I can see a good audience. How are you? What's up, guys? All good? Yeah. As the COVID cases are raising day by day, you never know what happens next. Stay safe, stay home, guys. It's very important nowadays, right? So, welcome to the Selenium batch with Python. So we're going to start two different batches on this week. One is Selenium, another is APM, right? I'll explain the difference between both of them in a minute. So let me introduce myself initially. So my name is Ashish Garg. It's ASHI, Ashish Garg. I have a plenty good number of experience in a good CMM 5 level organization. Doing good nowadays. I'm an automation tester by profession, and yeah, I'm here to to spread up my knowledge with all of you as much as I can. Brief introduction about all of you, maybe how many of you are students, how many of you are joining from India or overseas or anything, so that I can just know my audience. Maybe are you guys working as a manual or an automation tester, anything? Anybody? Rehan and others, Uday, I can see good names. Yeah, 7 years as a manual automation tester, cool. Rishi not working currently. Selenium, Java, automation testers, 3 years experience. Cool, great. So we have a variety of people available here. That's great. So, how many of you have experience in Python and have worked before? Anybody out of the lot who knows what is Python? What is it all about? Selenium, Java. Okay, cool. So we are going to see some differences between these two languages, like what makes Python different. What is that one thing, right? We will be seeing that today. We'll be moving towards Selenium stuff, and tomorrow we'll be looking forward with APM. In case if you guys have any questions in between, you guys can just type out here. I'll be happy to answer these questions. So let's start. Um, I believe, yeah. um, Python. Will this cover API automation? No, Rehan, this is not for the API automation part. For API automation, we'll be starting a batch soon, but not now. This is UI automation using Python. The great thing about this course is we are going to start from very scratch. So anybody who has no experience in programming languages or no experience in automation testing, feel free to join it, because guys, this is going to be a great one. We're going to start from a very scratch of Python, defining variables, to moving to advanced concepts slowly and gradually, then moving towards Selenium and doing ahead. So Python, what it is all about, and can I work as an automation tester after this course? Yes, for sure. That is why this course is all about. You guys can definitely work as an automation tester and prove your experience as 3 to 4 years experienced in the same domain. Trust me on that, okay? Try to understand things, and in case if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop me a question, right? So, what is Python? I can say it's normally we say it's just a programming language, like programming language for our day-to-day use. and things like that. Yeah, everybody knows about it, right? What makes this different with Java? How are things different? Let's try to see one by one. If I say, let's start with programming directly. Let's try to create a new file. I'll explain this UI with to you all of you in a minute, in few minutes. If I say I want to describe a new Python file, demo one, let's name it, yeah. I'm saying I want to print hello. Okay. Uh, please send your email ID and phone number. Yeah, I'll do that in the end of the day. Do not worry on that. If I say I want to print something in Java or in Python, how will I be printing it? I'll say, okay, print hello. That's it. Yeah, it's easy. That's it. Run it, it prints me hello. In case if I try to do the same in other programming languages like Java or something or similar, so let's even try to do that in these programming languages as well. Let me show you. So this is a Java editor. This is a Java editor. Now just think yourself that to print something like this, a simple hello world program, to print it like this or to print it like this, which one is more compatible and which one is more easy? We can definitely say this is more easy, this is more relatable, this is more clear. That is why we say Python is a general general purpose language, which means we can perform all the operations with minimum coding. We can perform all the operations with minimum coding. Python is more of a logic building platform, we can say. For example, what happens normally, like you have a logic in your mind, you want to implement it. In other programming languages, where do we as a normal, we as a student or we as a tester or a programmer stuck is, we know what to implement, but we do not know how to implement, right? I know that this is going to be the logic, but I'm not sure like how to do that. What is the correct syntax of performing it? Java is something which pulls you back in this case. But when you compare it with Python, Python says if you have the logic, apply it. That's it. Simple, as simple as possible. I can show you, a very simple example is here in front of you. If I'm saying print, uh, am I audible, guys? Yeah. So most you just rejoin because I believe you might have an internet connection. Yeah, also I'll be briefing about the topics we are going to cover in this course by the end of the session. Okay. So I was just saying, like I know I want to print a hello world, right? If I go to a second class student or a third class student, maybe let's take a sixth class student. If I say that, okay, boy, print hello, he'll be thinking he knows I want to print hello. He knows I want to print hello, right? As a student, he'll be writing this logic. This should implement, right? But in case if I ask him to perform this logic, this is far away tough, right? That is why we say Python is a more general purpose language and a logic building activity, logic building language, right? Most, I believe everybody else can hear me except you. So if you can just reconnect one time, maybe that is helpful for yourself. Yeah. Next, we say that boss, Python is a dynamic language. What? Python is a dynamic language. Okay. When I say Python is a dynamic language, what I mean? Uh, Let me open Paint. What is a variable if I normally ask you, anyone of you? So this is my memory location which I have, right? Let's make some boxes in between like this, just to make this more clear. Like this, we have some memory blocks with us, okay? Over here, we are storing some information. I'm saying I'm storing 10, 2, 4. Let's say we are storing U, O, R, 4, and so on. I'm storing some information out here. Now, if I say I want to access this 4, I'm saying I want to access this 4. To access this 4, in memory, we have something, a memory called memory address. It can be from 0x and some good number, right? Am I audible to all of you guys? Am I audible to all of you guys? Yes. Most everybody else can hear me. Please try to reconnect, leave this session, and again join it. In that case, might be you'll be hearing me. Okay. So I'm saying back, this number 4 might have a memory location out available. Mm, okay, nice point today. Most please rejoin. In case if you cannot hear me, please see this page, this one. Please rejoin. Okay. Yeah. So I'm saying if I give this number a memory location, and if I ask you to memorize this memory location, this is very difficult, right? I cannot memorize it, and not for each and every one. So what we do, we simply say that we are going to call this something else. I say I'm going to call this as, let's say, salary. This is my salary. Now, if I want to remember memorize this data, I can simply say what is the value of salary. The person will say 4. So how do we define it? We define it normally. Salary is equals to 4, which means I'm saying salary is a variable which contains a value 4, right? Similarly, I can create another variable like name is equal to Ashish, right? ASH, ISH. So name is a variable which is containing some information. Cool, agreed. Now the question comes, how is Python different here when compared to Java? So since we have so many Java people available here, how do we define a variable in Java? If anybody can tell me, how do we do that? How do we do that? You're saying int a is equal to 10, okay? Int a equal to 5, okay? Along with data type, exactly. I need to define the type of the data I'm defining. Salary is equal to 4. Now again, this is a bottleneck for me. Like, what if I do not know that what type of variable data I will be receiving? Sometimes it happens like object, you yourself don't know that what type of data you want to define. So just imagine how great it would be, like if we have a system where we do not need to define the data type. Everything happens automatically. Everything happens at the backend. It's none of my concern, right? Everything happens at backend. It automatically takes the variable, identifies it, whether it is an integer, whether it is a float or decimal or whatever. So yes, that magic happens, but that magic happens in Python. Python says suppose I am dynamic. Simply say a is equals to 10, I'm done. There is no need to define me. I can say a is equals to Ashish. Okay, I'm okay with it as well. I can say a is equals to 10.52, whatever. It says I'm okay with it as well. A is equals to, I can say true with a capital T. He says I'm okay with it as well. So we do not need to define the type of the data we are defining. That is another new magic of Python, which we normally say that Python is a dynamic language. Am I clear to all of you till here? All my points are clear to all of you? Any questions? Isn't Python interesting? Is Python case sensitive? Yes, Python is very much case sensitive. So am I clear to all of you guys? Just let's try to make this session a two-way channel. Like if we both can connect with each other, if you guys can reply me with a yes or a no, maybe. Yes. Okay. Next is Python is a interpreting language. What do I mean by interpreting language? Anybody who knows the difference, what is an interpreting language and what is a compile time language? Anybody? Line by line statements are getting executed. Exactly. Like if I say a is equals to 10, print a. I say b is equals to 5 divided by 0, print b. So what, as per you guys, should be the output? What should be the output as per you guys looking around this code? Looking around this code, what should be the output? Okay, you are saying divide by 0 error exception. What will be the output? Let's run it. Output is hello. Output is 10. Then it says 0 division error. Then it says 0 division error. So what exactly happened? It executed line number 1. It executed correctly. Then it executed line number 2. Am I audible? Okay. Then it executed line number 3. It went on line number 4. It came to know that boss there is an exception. It raised the exception, right? What happened? It executed lines one by one. But if I try to perform the same operation in Java, I say print hello world. Then I again need to follow this long syntax. And if I say print 10 divided by 0, if I run this code, this code also says that boss there is a Java exception. However, hello world should have not been printed because this is a compile time issue. So what happens in a compiling type language is, okay, again, this is a runtime exception. That is why it printed me hello. But what if I try to say system.out.println a? Now there is nothing defined as a. If I run it, now it will raise me a compile error. It says, boss, this is a compile time error. So this is one difference between Python and Java, that Python is an interpreting language. However, Java is a compiling type language. Is this point as also clear to all of you? All these 4 points? For which one are you talking about, Anup? The Java one or Python one? Python. So it printed line number 1, which is hello. Then it printed line number 3. Then an error received. So all the errors are available at the top. So if I show you the complete file, all the errors are available at the top. Yeah. But why hello world printed in Java? Because Rehan, 10 divided by 0 is not a syntax error. 10 divided by 0 is not a syntactical error, it is a runtime error, that we cannot divide a number by 0. However, there is nowhere defined that this is a syntax error. That is why it's printed hello world. But for the next time when I tried it with a syntax error, it said was compilation failed. Is it clear now? Okay, cool. Just a second, guys. Yeah, so sorry. So yeah, that is why we say that Python is a dynamic and an interpreting language. Moving ahead, we say it is platform independent. We say it is platform independent. What it means? I can execute the same thing in a Windows machine. I can execute the same thing in the Linux machine. I can execute the same thing in a Mac machine. So Python is platform independent. We can execute the same code everywhere. Okay. So like this, we have all these major points that makes Python very much different from Java. How do we download Python? It's simply you need to print download Python. So we have the latest in the market as Python 3.9.4. If I go down, yeah, it's released on April 4th, which is right now. If you want to see like what all new things are happening here, you guys can go down and see its online documentation, what new things are available here. So like that. I'll go back. Go to the official website of Python, click download one. Now if I go to the desktop or downloads, maybe save it, it will take some time. Okay, it very fast. As per your Windows, as per your machine, you can download it for Windows or Linux or Mac, whatever you want to. Once downloaded, open it. Since I already have it, so it shows me to update it, or I can choose the customized location. It says what all features do you want to add here. Documentation, yes, I want the official documentation. What is pip? I'll come to this in a minute. Ideally is the integrated development, which is available with Python inside. If you go to the next button, it shows you all these available options. So here you need to just click on create shortcut, add Python, nothing like that, nothing more. Customized location is something where you need to give the address where exactly you want to install Python. Click on install. It will start the installation automatically. Wait for a few seconds. Till that it is installing, let's try to understand a new concept. Let's have a problem. I have three machines. This is machine 1, this is machine 2, this is machine 3. Let's name them. Why is it 28? I'll name it as machine 1, machine 2, and machine 3. Let's have an underline. Now the problem statement is on machine 1 you have two projects. This is your project 1, this is your project 2. On machine 2 you have another two projects. I'll name it as project 3 and project 4. Machine 3 again has two projects. I'll name it as project 5 and project 6. like this. Okay, you have these projects. It says it is downloaded. Simply close it and it should be downloaded. Now, coming back, what happens is this project one has a set of features which is required to execute. Similarly, this project machine 2 executes on few softwares. This machine 3 executes on few softwares. For example, I say project 1 executes on Python 2 and Selenium 1. Machine 2 has projects on Python 3 and Selenium 3. Machine 3 has all your projects on Python, let's say 3.9, the latest one, and Selenium 3.4, I say. As a user, you have these three machines in with you. Now, if I say execute all of them together, execute all the projects together. Now, what is your problem here? Your problem here is that if you execute your projects with machine 1, if you execute your project with machine 1, so Python 2 and Selenium 1 should be available. Only these two things are available, right? But what will be the problem? Machine 2 and machine 3, these projects will not work. Why? Because they need a separate set of information. They need a separate set of features, right? If you execute everything as machine 2, so all the projects with machine 2 will be executed, but 1 and 3 will fail. If you execute everything uh, with this set of features, all the projects on machine 3 will be executed, but 1 and 2 will fail. But my problem is I want to execute all of them. So what is the best scenario you think of? How can I perform this now? How can I reduce my problem? How can I get the solution of the same? Anybody, any suggestions? All the suggestions are welcome. Anybody? Yeah, sorry. uh can think of VPN, Maven dependencies, Jenkins servers. Yeah, we will be using virtual networks, not virtual network exactly. What we call it as, we will be using virtual environment, also known as VENV. We will be using virtual environment. What is this virtual environment? A virtual environment will be available in each and every project. In each, it will be available with this project. It will be available with this project. It will be available with separately with this project. What it means, earlier what was happening, global dependencies were installed in the machine, right? Global dependencies were installed. Either I can install Python 2 or Python 3 or Python 3.9, but now I will be installing all of them in their separate projects. So when I will be executing any project, their dependencies will be used and it will not affect any other dependency. And it will not affect any other dependency. For example, I have created a project, just a second. I have created a project here. You guys can see this. There is a folder called VENV. This is a private virtual environment of this project, batch 10 April. This has multiple folders inside it where we are going to see multiple things and what all the libraries we have, dependencies we have, and things like that. So now the problem which was there earlier, that in a machine at a time you can either install Python 2 or Python 3 or Python 3.9, that is now reduced. That is resolved, and we will be creating one virtual environment which will be taking care of all these things. Now, suppose if I say I want one library, I'll simply go here. I'll go to the terminal. Whatever I install in Selenium, in Python, whatever I install in Python, it is installed using the pip command. It is installed using the pip command. What is pip? Pip stands for Python Index Manager, or provider nowadays we call it as. It simply allows you to install everything. Suppose I want to install Selenium. I'll say pip install. I'm sending a command to the Python. I'm saying I want to install Selenium. That's it. Hit enter. And it says, okay, boss, I'm downloading Selenium and it is successfully installed. It is successfully installed. If I want to install any another library, I'll simply call it as pip install A, or whatever the name of the library is. I'll say pip install B. That's it. Give the name of the library and your work is done. And which is, because you are doing it inside a virtual environment, that is why it will be only and only available in this environment and nowhere else. It will not be available in machine 2, it will not be available in machine 3, it will be only and only with machine 1. So is it clear the concept of virtual environment and pip? How do I create it manually? I'll also tell that later in the sessions. But as of now, is it clear to all of you what is venv and what is pip? Yes, no, maybe. It would be good if I can get a response from all of you guys. Yeah, is that clear to all of you till here? Okay, cool, great. Now, this is one thing, virtual environment. This is, so to install and download anything, to install and download anything, we use pip. Yes, Rishi, it exactly means the same. You can have different versions of Python in a single machine with different projects using different virtual environments. That is the beauty of Python. Okay. Pip simply means, guys, to install anything in Selenium, anything in Python, you need to use this command, which is pip install the name of the library. This is the name of the library. Suppose if you want to install another library, whatever you want to work on, you will be using pip install and the name of the library. For example, there is a uh, Excel library. I'll say pip install open Excel. So this is the name of the library. It says, okay, I'm collecting it, I am downloading it. It says successfully installed it, like that. So whatever library you want to download from outside of the market, you can simply write pip install and the name of the library. That's it. Is it clear this time? Is it clear this time? Ikhtiyar, is it clear to you? Okay. Now, similarly, Yeah, you can just give the names maybe in a comma separated manner. Or we create another file called requirement file. So whatever you write in that requirement file, it installs all of them in a single go. Yeah. Now moving ahead, this is a bit about Python. We're going to start from variables, what are variables and everything in detail. Uh, uh, Let me show you the course structure one time, that what all we will be learning and what all will be there. Give me a second. Just a second, guys. Let me. I'm searching for the material. Yeah, this is there. So we're going to start with this setup, installations, what is variable, or what are the different available options, what is control flow and strings of Python. No, most I'm using the Windows terminal itself. So I'll show you that the terminal I'm talking about. I'll show you just a minute. Then we are going to deep dive in the OOPS concept. This is a very interesting topic. OOPS concepts are very much interesting and informative always. We're going to see data types which are most advanced: list, tuples, set, and dictionary, exception handling, reading, writing in an Excel file. Then starting with some Selenium basics, writing some test cases, setting up the environment, talking about different locators in detail, what are all the locators and everything, what is window handling, different types of weights. This is a very, very interesting and a very great part of Selenium, which is PyTest. PyTest is a testing framework which is available in Python, very easy and very, very powerful as compared to TestNG. What is logging, designing some framework, what is BDD framework, what is data driven framework for page object models, and along with it we have added robot framework a part of it as well, like how do we work on robot frameworks and everything. So this will be the course of structure that we are going to cover in these 2 months down the line. The course will be of almost 2 months, which we can say 16 classes it will be divided into, and the classes will be definitely weekend itself. Initially, for the first month, where Python will be covered from very scratch to the advanced topics. But the batch we are going to start for APM will be a combined batch for the Python stuff, right? So we'll be confirming about the timings of this Python batch. Maybe it will be in the morning. I'll confirm the timings to you by tomorrow. So yeah, this is all the structure. This is the course content. Anyone having any questions in these, feel free to ask me right now so that we can move ahead. Yes, Rishi, we are covering all of these things as well. Jenkins will be definitely covered. Maybe we do not have it. Uh, Parallel testing, yes, we are going to cover. These are the miscellaneous topics which we actually need to. I need to actually update it. which is like parallel testing for sure. We are going to cover. We are going to cover cross browser testing. How do we perform grid, um, Selenium grid? What is Selenium grid and how it helps with us? This time in the batch, might be we will be adding Sauce Labs integration. It's not sure, but we might be adding Sauce Labs integrations. Jenkins will definitely be a part. Git will definitely be a part. So I believe you're going to answer for your question, Rishi. The cloud execution is Sauce Labs itself. Will you teach SVN? No, we're not covering SVN. We are covering Jenkins only. We are covering Git only, as Ikhtiar. Reports, we are covering Allure. Just a second. We will be covering Allure report for sure. Yeah, so these are some miscellaneous topic. Headless browsing, how we perform that. These will be definitely the topics of discussion. PyTest is a great topic in itself. So yeah, these any more questions on this? No, not using the master slave configuration. We are doing it in normal fashion, Rishi. We are using internally itself. Yeah. So anyone having any questions on the course content or the timing? Allure is a type of reporting, Sarath. We will be covering it for sure. That what type of reports we can create at the end of our test cases. We create some reports. These are the Allure reports we are talking about. Yeah. Sauce Labs is a cloud platform. Sauce Labs is a cloud platform where we perform all the operations. Like in case if I want to, execute my test case on the Linux machine on XYZ version, I can use this cloud-based platform there. So Sauce Labs is that. Will we have Python Selenium and Python APM simultaneously running? Yeah, we have Python Selenium that in the morning, I believe, or Python APM in the evening. We are yet to define the timings. How we can log the defect in Python? I'm not getting your question, Rakesh. How can we log the defect in Python? Like you're saying, failed test cases. Are you talking about them? So you will be generating a report using Allure reporting. Once you get a report, it shows you all the failed test cases. Now, whosoever you want to share it, you can share it with. And normally, organizations have Bugzilla or Jira to report the bugs. So you can do it over there, I believe. Are we covering API testing? No, Rishi. API testing is a separate course we will be running soon. API testing is not a part of it. Yeah. Any more questions if anybody wants to ask? JSON handling, that is not needed. That is covered in API testing itself. Yeah. Weekly one class only, right? 2 hours. No, no. We have two classes in a week, Saturdays and Sundays, both of the days, and 2 hours each. So in all, it makes 8 classes in a month. So 16 classes in 2 months. It will be a Saturday Sunday course, guys. 2 hours on both of the days. Not exactly 2 hours. It will be 1.5 hours actually. Timings are yet to be defined, but for the first month, the timings will be from 10 a.m. IST. For the first month, the timing will be 10 a.m. IST. This is for the first month. Okay. and then you guys will be having separate timings. For the Selenium guys, it will be continued in the morning, and for APM, it will be continued in the evening. Can we have both classes time before 6 p.m. IST over weekend? No, the second class will be at 6 p.m. itself, Rishi. It might not be. Okay, how many of you guys are out from overseas? If anybody of you is from overseas, okay. So for from where are you joining? Sarath and Arunup is in Sydney. Austin. Okay. So for guys who are joining in who wants to see it in EST, it will be 12:30 a.m. EST for the first month. Okay. And others can check according to their time zones. So yeah, these are the things. So if anybody has any more questions, you guys can feel free to ask me, or we can go ahead in the session. A weekend class, the first month it's 10 a.m. From the second month, Selenium guys will be on the same time, and APM guys will be shifted in the evening. Okay. What is parallel testing? When we execute same multiple different test cases on different browsers, that is called parallel testing. Just to verify whether the same test case is working correctly on another browsers as well. Yeah. API testing is not yet started, Sarath. API testing will be started later. We are planning the API testing batch, but we are not confirmed it yet. We will be starting it, but later. Okay. Does Selenium Python supports Firefox, Chrome, Edge, Safari? Yes, it supports all the browsers, Rishi. It supports all the browser. So now let's start ahead. In case if anybody is not left with any questions, we can actually start with variables and everything, right? Okay, then let's start with the very basic fundamentals, which is variables. Can you mention a book that can support me along with this class? Headless Python, I believe, is a good book. You guys can refer. That is called Headless Python. In case if anybody wants to refer a book, this is a good and a great book with some fun learning stuff. You can always refer to this. Now, coming back, for executing any programming language, to execute any sort of a code, we use some IDEs, right? The IDE which we are going to use in this course will be Pycharm. We are going to use Pycharm. You might have heard about Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ, right? So what are these? These are IDEs, which is called Integrated Development Environment, where which these IDEs gives us an option to execute your code, to give you options to perform, to help you in any possible manner. So the IDE that we are going to use here is called Pycharm. You can download that Pycharm from their official website. Simply write download Pycharm, go to their official website, which is jetbrains.com. Over here, these guys have two versions. One is professional version, another is a community version. You need to go to the community version because this is for free, open source. However, this is of a paid version. So we are going to use the community version, download it. It will be taking up some time to get it downloaded. It's a 360 MB file. It will be taking 10 seconds to get it downloaded. Yeah, so use this once downloaded, open Pycharm. Mm, 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 mm. So there, just a second. So this type of window will be appeared. Welcome note, click yes. It says select the Pycharm that you want to uninstall. Since I already have it installed in my system, that is why it is saying me to uninstall it. However, I do not want to do that. If I go to next, select the destination folder. This is an important page. When you come on this page, select all these options. Select all these options. The most important option will be update path variable. So you have to check this option for sure. Click on next and then it will say install. Since I already have it, I'm canceling it. Okay. So you need to download Pycharm. Once it is downloaded, you can open it like this. You to create a new project, file, new project, name your project. It will be asking to create a new virtual environment, right? You can give the location. It will take it automatically. So here is the answer of your question, Rishi. You can select the Python version as well. If you want to use 3.8 or if you want to use 3.9, whichever Python version you want to use, you can select it from here, and that will be only and only specific to this project. Okay, and then create it. Since I already have one, I am skipping it. Once created, you can create a new file. Just simply right click, new Python file, and your work is done. So to install Pycharm as your software, as your IDE, is it clear? How to download Python and Pycharm? I just told you the steps, Sarath. To download Python, go to their official website, download it. To download Pycharm, go to their official website, which is jetbrains.com, and download it. That's it. Two simple steps. Yeah. Anybody having any questions? Yes, no, maybe. Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? Yes, no, maybe. Is it clear to all of you guys? Come on, show some response. The session has to be a two-way session, right? That was the reel of the day. Okay, cool. Great. Be active and yeah. So now moving ahead, let me actually show you how are we going to end up this Python session. So we have something as a Java Jenkins file. So let me open it. --jar jenkins.war sorry guys, just get me a second. Let me have some water. So sorry. So Java hyphen jar, then we give Jenkins file name, HTTP port. I want to open it on 8086. Hit enter. It says I'm starting. It says failed to start Jetty. Some internal exception happened. Have I used the correct command? Okay, I'll check it later. Maybe I'm already there on the Java location if they are the war location. Mm, 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 mm. Let me just rerun it. Let me see the error it shows. Actually, I executed it uh, an hour before. Okay, I'll check it later. No worries. So what I was trying to show is we have a Jenkins machine and we run it and it happens. No worries. For Selenium, let me show you. We have the official website of Way to Automation, dummy registration form, enter to the testing website. So these are the elements that we are going to automate completely. Like for example, how do we drag something, how we perform any another operation. Like if I go to droppable, if I want to drop something here, how it performed. If I want to select a date out of the lot, how can I perform a date picker operation and things like that. I can actually show you the code. Uh, 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 so we are going to create these things, this end-to-end framework where we have test cases like all jQuery elements, how to perform sorting operation, selecting operation, resizing operation, dropping operation, drag operations, and what is feature files, BDD framework. All of these things will be covered by the end of the session. What is data driven framework, what is robot framework, things like that. So let me start with Python, or actually I'll start with Python later. Let me start with Selenium today. A bit about it, a bit knowledge for you guys. So since we installed Selenium, how do we use it? I'll say from Selenium import WebDriver. What is WebDriver? WebDriver is something which takes control of the complete page, right? Simple. I am saying I'm defining a variable as driver is equal to, I want to open WebDriver dot Chrome. I want to open the Chrome browser. Now I'll say driver dot get. I want to move to a URL. I'll give this URL simple. I'll say driver dot maximize window. It will maximize it. So what do you guys think? Will this code work if I run it? And yes, it started working. It opened the web page and it maximized it. But in your machine, it will not work. Why? Because we always want a Chrome driver. Whatever browser we are trying to work with, we need to set up that browser's driver initially. So to download the Chrome browser, we will go to their official page again. I'll say download Chrome browser, Chrome driver, sorry. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah, I'm so sorry. So if you go to their official website, which is chromedriver.chromium, they are saying that they have the latest stable release at 89.04. Before downloading the Chrome driver, one thing need to be checked, that what driver are you using. Go to help, go to about. So my version is 89, so I will be downloading the 89 itself. In case if you are using a earlier version, you can actually use that one. Okay, so depending upon the same, you will need to download Linux machine if you are using a Linux driver. If you are using a Mac machine, Mac driver, or a Windows machine, a Windows driver. So let me download it. Actually, Chrome driver, save, downloaded, show in folder. Let me just extract it. So now I have extracted it and I have something like this. This is an executable application which we are going to use. Normally, what is one way around? One way around is I can pass the path of this driver over here. I can pass the path of this driver over here and it will execute it. But instead of doing this complete thing multiple times, what I did, in this virtual environment, go to your script folder, and in this script folder, I am going to add the Chrome driver. In this script folder only, I'm going to add the Chrome driver. So let me copy this. I'll go here, I'll paste it. Either you can add it at this position, or if I open the configurations, let me just go to file, settings. Other way around is, in case if you want to perform it on a different browser version, that is also available. Go to your project, go to your interpreter. It says this is using this interpreter which is available at this location. So I can actually add it at the base location as well. So we'll deep dive in that later, because that might be confusing you guys right now. For you to understand, the basic one is go to scripts and add a Chrome driver and your work should be done. To work on Mozilla, you need Gecko driver. To work on Internet Edge, you need IE driver, and so on. We work accordingly. This is a very basic code. We are also going to see different type of locators. In XPath only, we are going to learn almost 8 or 10 types of process. What we are going to see in CSS, we are going to learn almost 8 different processes and so on. So yeah, we are going to cover these things. So yeah, that is all for my end. We will be starting with the Python batch from next Saturday itself, and the APM batch itself from the next Saturday. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, you guys can ask me right now, or later we can cover slowly and gradually. In case if anybody wants to suggest something that we should add in this batch, you can tell me. We'll cover Maven. Maven is not a part of this. Uday, Maven is a part of Java dependencies. Here we have pip. Yeah, we have a class tomorrow. We have a class at same time, 6 p.m. But the class tomorrow will be covering Python plus APM. Tomorrow we will not be seeing Selenium. We will be seeing APM. Okay. Like in Selenium itself, let me actually execute that code which I actually showed you right now, just to give you some brief idea like what it is all about. So if I execute this script itself, which is, this contains so many test cases right now. I have skipped these test cases just for my stuff. We can actually work on that, whatever we need to see. We are going to cover all these things, basics. Then we will be covering some questions on different types of list, questions on dictionaries, and so many things, like some hackathon based questions also. How can we solve them? So everything, considering will be covering everything, each and every detail. Creating project needs to be shown again. Go to file, create new project, give the project name, select the location, select the base interpreter, whichever interpreter you want to use, whichever Python version you want to use, and just click on the create button. Simple. Clear? Yeah. So yeah, if anybody has any questions related to Selenium Python, you guys are free to ask me right now. Any suggestions if you want to give? Anybody? How will I know the version of the Chrome I am using? Go to your browser, click on these three dots, go to help, go to about. Over here it says this is the version you are using right now. Okay. Yeah. Advanced knowledge of Python, Ikhtiar, we are covering almost everything. We are covering almost everything which is Python core, right? Which is Python core actually. So you guys get benefits of two things, like one is Python core and another is Python Selenium. Both of these things. Just confused with the customers, continues to a different batch that is APM. It will be a different one, Anoop. It will be a different one which is for APM specific. Yeah, yeah. Any more questions if somebody asks? Because we can start, but I just want others to join also the same thing. Because if I'll be doing the same thing multiple times, that does not make sense, right? Let me try solving the other problem. Mhm. Okay, so yeah, my Jenkins is up and running. There was a problem I just resolved. So this will be a Jenkins machine which you guys will be landing up with. So suppose if you have, this is my robot framework stuff. This is Python Selenium stuff. Right now, some test cases are failing. I'll check on that why what went wrong. So this will be the report generated, which I'm talking about. This is the Allure reporting, like how many test cases are there, how many passed, how many failed, and more information like categories, suits. If you want to see each and every test case, what is the history, the number of times it was retried, everything. So we are going to see this type of reporting stuff. Going back to Jenkins, uh, admin and admin. I'll show you. Okay, it shows invalid username. I don't know. Okay, it's on 8086 portal. So I have two Jenkins machine running with me. That's why it shows the error. Yeah, it is okay most. If I run this batch for you, if I just try to execute the build, let me see if test cases are executed or not. If you go here, go to console, you can see what is happening. It is downloading all the dependencies which are there. We'll see this. How can we create it? This is called batch file execution, satisfying all the requirements. Then it will start the test cases slowly and initially. You see, it's starting multiple Windows test cases. Like one is on Firefox, one is on Chrome, and things like that. It says, okay, I failed. This is Selenium. This is your cross-browser testing involved in this. It failed due to some reasons. Go back. Another one is executing. Mm, and if I open this build itself, you go to the Salute report. It says two test cases are broken, two test cases are skipped. We need to check on it. So my thing is, at the end of the day, you guys will be landing up with something like this itself, right? Uh, Let me check. Yeah. At the end of the day, you guys will be landing up something like this itself. We'll be executing from here. It will take all the data from the GitHub repository, then it will execute it, and then we will be seeing the report and everything is done. How do you resolve the Jenkins issue? Because I tried to install Jenkins, but it's not launching Jenkins. We'll come to that later, Amit. When you will be working on the Jenkins machine lecture, I'll help you with that. Try to see if you have another port already running with you, or it is already consumed. Maybe that would be the one problem. What is repos? I cannot get your question about repos because um I don't know about this term honestly. We have, okay, this is a library maybe. This library, this is a library, but there is no clear instructions like for what we use it. I'll check on it and will tell you tomorrow maybe that why we use repos. He's asking Maven repository. Uh, okay. In that term, I need to check it. So I'll come back. I'll tell you that later. So as of now, is it clear to everybody? Like we are starting a batch from 17th of April, 10 a.m. IST, Python starting from scratch for the next one complete month, and then moving ahead. Can we learn HTML and CSS? That is not a part of this course most. You need to join some other courses for that. Okay. So yeah, that is all for this demo session because this was supposed to be by 7:30. We have another demo scheduled. Anybody having any questions? Any questions? Any suggestions if anybody wants to give me in terms of teaching, in terms of communication, in terms of presentation, anything. It will be good for me. I'll try to uh, make myself better the next time. What is hybrid framework? Hybrid framework is something when you use different types of frameworks in a single way. Like robot and data driven, you are using all together in a single framework. So that which contains more than one type of framework is called a hybrid framework. So what is needed to develop using Python? Basic logic building capability. That is it. Please keep sharing the code during the session. So for that, Nikita, we will be using a GitHub repository. I'll be creating a new repository and all the data, all the code will be pushed on the same time and same day. You need to just pull that code and it will be on your machine. The very next second the session ends. So do not worry on the coding, code sharing and everything. Okay. Yeah, you guys will be getting the video on a portal. So once you enroll yourself, Rahul will be sharing a portal with you where you will be getting all the recordings of the videos that we are taking in the class. Okay. We will be having assignments on weekly basis. You need to complete the assignments before the next class hops in. It is for your own practice and or your own benefit. In case if you guys need my number, my email ID is agarg9582@gmail.com and my contact number is 7011197716. My name is Ashisha. So in case if you need my email ID, my phone number, or anything, you guys can contact me at any point of time for any queries. We will be creating a WhatsApp group for everybody where you guys can share your own queries and we can have a discussion on the same. Okay. Anything more which is needed at my end, feel free to say. Sorry. No more questions, guys? Are we good to end it? Yeah, definitely. I'll be there to help in coding. Welcome, Nitya. Are we going to work on live projects? So live projects for me, Nikita, is something where, so as I showed you the way to automation's website, that is a live project, right? To automate different types of elements. So yeah, definitely we are going to cover these types of live projects, different types of web elements and everything. So yeah, in case if you guys have no more questions, feel free to drop. We are done for the day. And in case if you want to attend the APM session, which is going to happen tomorrow, please join at 6 p.m. tomorrow at the same time, which is for mobile automation completely. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for being so patient and hearing me carefully. Yeah, I'll be only the person who will be taking the APM batch. Okay. Most the same time that you have joined today will be the time tomorrow. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll be connecting tomorrow at same time. In case of any questions, feel free to reach me. I'll be available. Just do not call me at 2 a.m. in the night. Okay. So yeah, that's all for the day. Thank you and stay safe, guys. Stay home. COVID cases are increasing day by day. So yeah, bye bye.